There's an order of religious sisters, the Sisters of Life, whose mission is to proclaim the sacredness of every human life by building up a culture of life and civilization of love. In the history of the world, generations of people have forgotten where they've come from and where they're going. Society today seems to have forgotten that God designed every man and every woman with a particular purpose. When we read the book of Genesis, we can see that God made mankind in the Trinity's image after the likeness of the triune God. Male and female, He created us and found us very good. Our identity is rooted in the creation story. We were made very good in the image and likeness of God and have extraordinary dignity. The Catechism of the Catholic Church confirms this when it states, "The dignity of the human person is rooted in his creation in the image and likeness of God." Because we come from God and were made for God, nothing but God will ever truly satisfy. Perversions of what God has created for us will only fool us into believing Satan's empty promises. That's why pornography is only a hollow promise and will never satisfy, because it is a pale reflection of love and intimacy.
I know what it's like to struggle with pornography. The first time I saw it, I was probably in second grade. Finding some dirty little magazine in the street. What's that? What do we do with it? And my friend said, let's keep it. I said, well, where do we put it? And he said, let's put it at your house. I said, that's a good idea. But that began just this vicious cycle of, for years and years. And I didn't get rid of the junk until I was probably 17 years old. But it was always this kind of, this false consolation where if I'm, bored or lonely or angry or stressed or tired, you'd go to that. And it became almost like this drug that whenever I took it, it would give this immediate little high, and then there's the crash afterwards. And then you're more lonely afterwards. You feel further from God. But if we can just come to Him with the mess that we are, realizing I don't have to have it all together. I don't have to have every addiction and every vice and every thought held captive to Christ and that be all perfected, then He's going to love me. It's like I just need to come to Him as the wounded son that I am and realize that holiness is more His work in me than it is my own self-reliance.
In overcoming any kind of sin, it's fundamental to bring that to our Lord so that He can heal it. And so when somebody falls into the sin of pornography or masturbation, lying, like any serious sin, it's important to always be bringing that to our Lord and always seeking healing, because our Lord's desire is to restore us to the integrity that we lost with the first sin, so that we can live as beloved sons and daughters of Him.
Our identity doesn't come from the things we do, our actions, our job, even our relationships. It comes from the fact that we are made unique and unrepeatable in the image and likeness of God as a man or a woman.
I think a lot of times people are falling into the pornography because of a lack of intimacy in their own lives, whether it's intimacy with their own family, intimacy with God, intimacy with that community, and we're looking to fill something with that, and then you get into the pornography and it almost infects that wound, so to speak. It drives us into this deeper loneliness and isolation. It just creates this cycle, whereas the only thing that can really heal that is God. We have that God-shaped hole in our hearts, and it's only His love and His affirmation of us, that's really ultimately going to satisfy us.
When we come to understand our identity and the gift of our sexuality according to God's design, things begin to change. We begin to understand that God's plan for life and love is actually what we long for and not what the pornography industry is promoting. We realize that we were made to give and receive love according to God's design and not the world's design. Remember, never again and never before in the history of the world will there be another you. God created you as a unique and unrepeatable person with a particular mission to love and to be loved. When you know and understand God's plan for your life, you will begin to realize that His plan is actually what you desire and not what the pornography industry encourages and promotes. A very effective tool that will help you rid your life of pornography is Covenant Eye's internet accountability and filtering software. Friends, we invite you now to take a few moments in quiet reflection, asking God to help you grow in knowledge and truth of who you are. A good way to clear your mind and listen to His voice is by going to the sacrament of reconciliation. If you've consumed pornography, we encourage you to bring this to Jesus in this great sacrament of love and mercy. May God bless you.